Security of Tenure, the Landlord and Tenant Act 1954. Security of tenure is all in relation to landlord and tenant scenarios. This is where, at the end of a business lease, the tenant has no right to stay in occupation. This is not for residential leases. This is subject to a notice from the landlord and a subsequent declaration from the tenant. This can either be a statutory or a simple declaration. The relevant legislation is the Landlord and Tenant Act 1954, specifically sections 24 to 28. These will be found within the actual lease in a specific clause, and will also be in the notice from the landlord and the relevant declaration from the tenant. Declarations. These can either be statutory declarations or simple declarations. These are subject to the notice by the landlord and the relevant lease provisions. Firstly, a statutory declaration. This is a formal declaration which has to be done in front of an independent solicitor or a commissioner of oaths. Once that has been done and evidenced to the landlord, the grant of the lease can happen. Alternatively, a simple declaration. This can be signed by the tenant themselves. However, 14 days must pass between that and the grant of the lease. Practical points. Firstly, in relation to lease provisions, ensure they reflect whether it's a statutory declaration or simple declaration. Upon completion of the relevant lease, make sure the relevant details of the declaration are entered into the actual lease. Ensure you're aware of the relevant deadlines involving statutory and simple declarations. And finally, ensure that you make sure you keep records of all the documents involved. Watch this space for more exciting content.